Advancing Prefab videos are sponsored by Mandeville Modular, Inc., Premier Manufacturing.
We're advancing prefab. Once again, this is the Offsite Dirt Network. I love coming to these events because I get to meet so many different peoples and industries. And today we are with Jesse, and Jesse is with CSHQA, which is an architect firm. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I love that we have been able to spend a couple of days here at Advancing Prefab. And one particular area that we're going to be talking about today is retail modular construction.
Awesome.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, retail is a very important place for modular construction. We can get buildings to clients very much faster and get them open and running faster than traditional construction. So that I think is the benefit for most retailers. They also have a known product that they're going to be getting, and generally a better product than if it was site built because of the standards of modular construction that they're built to.
So being from the architect's point of view, how has it been for you through the design process? Does the client really kind of have the vision? Do you have the vision? Is there franchises that have a specific parameter?
Most franchises have a specific parameter that they're going with. And so then we help collaborate with the brand to develop a building that can be built in a modular fashion. And then we work with the different factories to ensure that we're putting it together in a way that that factory can actually accommodate building it as well.
And I love that you guys are licensed in so many states. So it's not like you're in Denver, Colorado.
I am.
But where are your other projects at?
Most of our projects are actually outside of Denver right now. We have projects all over the country from the east to the west coast.
And what kind of brands have you worked with?
Work with coffee brands, pizza brands, bagel brands, a lot of QSRs, and some retail locations. We've worked on concessions projects. We're working on a whole bunch of concession projects right now. We did some in Tennessee. We're doing some in Missouri and some in New York, I believe.
Wow, it's crazy. And when we're talking about this specific type of design build, there are really very specific code requirements that have to be met in order to be a part of the food industry.
Right. So not only are there code requirements for the food industry that are very stringent and we need to adhere to, they change from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, which can be complicated, especially in the modular world. So you have to find kind of the most restrictive and design to that. And so it also happens with the building itself and knowing whether it's going to go, what climate it's going to go to, because then you're designing different wall systems for different climates as well.
Yeah. So yesterday we had the great honor of actually going to a factory here in Phoenix that actually does steel frame designs for the franchisees. And I thought it was really interesting because I was learning all these different avenues about how they were building. And one particular thing that I found fascinating was they build the product all in place, and then they actually almost take it all apart to assemble it back. Why do they do that?
They do that so that they can make sure everything fits together exactly right and that everything is going to function appropriately. When you build it all in one place rather than putting it down a traditional factory line, it allows for a more complex build and more complex parts to come together. When we're dealing with extra plumbing, extra parapets, and those food service requirements, it really is a benefit for that type of construction.
And it's crazy that you talk about the food requirements because it's things like I didn't think about, like having in place your countertops, having in place your water heaters, and then your refrigeration system, and having your windows that open so you can actually test those for drive-through, right?
Right.
There's just so many components that go into those builds, but yet the nicest thing about it is it's built within 60 days, maybe 90 days.
Yep.
Delivered to site, and then you're up and running in like 6 months, 12 months, obviously permit driven, right?
Permit driven, but yeah, I think the record we've done right now is we have had a building delivered in 2 weeks. Well, I mean, after it was delivered, 2 weeks later, it was open and serving product.
Incredible. And this is why we move into modular construction.
Absolutely.
And we're starting to see it more and more. And what we're also seeing is franchise companies are willing to actually think through the system, work with companies like CSHQA. It's always a mouthful.
Yes.
But knowing that your architecture firm has this experience, and then the qualified factories that know how to build it.
Absolutely.
And that was what was one of the exciting things yesterday, being able to go on site, physically walk into the facility, and then we actually got to see another one that was live.
That was live and open a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So that was neat seeing and walking through and seeing how the employees were responding to the space they were in.
So how has the conference been for you this last couple of days?
The conference has been great. It's always a great learning opportunity and a great networking at this conference.
And you're also a speaker.
I am a speaker too.
And what have you been talking about, or what are your speaking engagements?
We had roundtables this morning on DFMA, and later on I'm talking about intellectual property and contracts.
That's a big deal.
It is absolutely a big deal.
Better have those win-win on contracts, man.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Jesse, for being here on Offsite Dirt Network.
Thank you for having me.
And we're glad to bring you the dirt on Offsite Dirt.